I'm joined by political analyst Karim Boulos for a year in review of Quebec politics. Thank you so much for joining us, Karim.
My pleasure.
This was an election year in Quebec. How would you describe the campaign and the results with Premier Legault winning another majority government?
Quebecers handed Mr. Legault an overwhelming majority. He's pretty much got free rein, carte blanche to do whatever he wants for the next 4 years. And while he came in like a lamb and came out like a lion from an Anglophone's perspective, passing Bill 21, Bill 96 in the dying months of his first term, I think we're going to see more of those, again, from an Anglo perspective, some of those bold moves.
Dominique Anglade stepped down as Liberal leader and Marc Tanguay was named interim party leader. Was any of this surprising to you? And what would you say is next for the Liberal Party?
It's not surprising that Dominique Anglade stepped down. I think with the showing that she posted for the Liberal Party, she read the writing on the wall. There was no real appetite, especially outside of Montreal, the stronghold for the Liberals, for what the message that she was trying to convey. And so I think it's a time to reset for the Liberals. I think there's time to rethink and regain the confidence at a grassroots level of all Quebecers. I think the Anglo choice has always been, they say has been taken for granted by some, but really the stronghold in Montreal is not enough to keep you in power. And I think the message, broader Quebec-wide message, regional message, has to be designed, and it's going to take a lot of work. I think it's going to take a leader who is, of course, can maintain the base, but also can appeal in the way that Mr. Legault did to a more regional vote.
Quebec's 43rd National Assembly session started, and soon after, a law was adopted making the oath to the King optional for elected members. Thanks to a push from the Parti Québécois MNAs, what do you make of this?
It never would have happened if the Queen was still alive. I think that there was a certain level of respect for Her Majesty the Queen, and people didn't really want to touch it, even though I'm sure many people prior to the Parti Québécois had their reservations about it. But under a new king, under King Charles, the question of relevance has to be brought up. Are we really subjects of the crown? And we're not. And I think that if you ask some Anglophones, they're of course staunchly supportive of the monarchy. But I think most people in Quebec society, and I dare say in many parts of Canada, don't necessarily see or feel the relevance of being part of the Commonwealth and having to pledge allegiance. So it looks like a small win for Mr. Saint-Pierre Plamondon.
Karim, where is Quebec headed politically in 2023?
I think people are trying to make up for lost time. We know the economics of the country, of the world, have been stagnating, and we see the rise in interest rates. We see that the question of people having food on the table and having enough money to pay for children's school supplies is ever present. We are entering potentially a recession over the next year, 18 months. So Mr. Legault's staunch Francophone stance is also going to have to be balanced against a economic development perspective, making sure that Quebec is a competitive player on the economic scene.
Thank you so much for joining us, Karim.
It's my pleasure.